Okay, welcome back to BFF Fantasy Football. I'm joined today. I have Adrian and Izar again today.
Yes, sir.
Hello, everyone.
And then so today we're going to go through and do our top 10 quarterback rankings for the Fantasy Football 2021 season PPR. I mean, I guess it doesn't matter because they're not going to be catching the passes. But um, our lists are a little different. But I think at consensus number one, besides Adrian, we we had Patrick Mahomes at number one. Uh, Adrian, do you want to say you had?
Well, I had Josh Allen at number one, and only reason because Josh Allen was the best fantasy quarterback last year. He won Fantasy Football Player of the Year last year as well, and he's got like that running element to his game where he's going to get you. He's pretty much the team's running back. He is their number one running back at
They
this
got
point.
they got Zach
And
Moss.
he gets like there's games where he had like 12, 13 carries in a game just from rushing the ball. And he gets like those red zone touchdowns for him. He's their red zone running back. He gets the rushing touchdowns. He's pretty much all of their touchdowns whenever they get in the red zone.
Yeah, okay, I see that, but and I feel like Josh Allen's gonna have an MVP year, but I feel like you just can't go wrong with Patrick Mahomes at number one. If he's not injured and he plays a full season, he can easily be your number one guy. And he still runs, obviously not as much as Josh Allen, but he can move around, but he can also throw 50 touchdowns, 5,000 yards.
It's
So,
true, yeah. I mean, Mahomes is my number two guy, but I just think
well,
Josh Allen's going to be better in fantasy because of the running element he has to his game and
I
the fact that he's a red zone
I just
back.
think Mahomes needs to be the number one guy because his offensive weapons around him are better than what Josh Allen has, and he has a better offensive coach. He's just in a better system, and he's more talented. He's like the best quarterback in the league. So fantasy wise, that's why I have him number one. I don't know, Izar, do you agree with that?
Yeah, same here. And though I really like Josh Allen, and I think he's gonna have a good year as well. The only thing is that like Adrian just mentioned, he was the fantasy championship champion last year. We tend to have new ones every single year.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So I think that one's just for me.
But
That
yeah, I just think Mahomes. Also, the obviously, hopefully Josh Allen doesn't get hurt next year. But if he's running around doing all this red zone stuff, like Adrian's saying, he has a higher chance of getting injured than Patrick Mahomes. Even though he's a big guy, you know,
yeah,
It'll be fine.
he could sustain an injury. That's all I'm saying. I would just have Mahomes number one. Um, I think
Yeah,
second
I mean,
player.
he's my number. Mahomes
If
my
we have
number two,
Mahomes
so
one, we're gonna put Josh Allen number two for
yeah,
sure.
yeah.
yeah. You can't go wrong with Josh Allen at
And
all. Like
Josh Allen
Mahomes,
going second.
if you can get Mahomes or Josh Allen, you're gonna
Yeah,
have a
I'm not
great
mad with
great
either of these
quarterback.
guys. I guess you can flip them one A, one B, but I feel like
I could agree with that.
for
Yeah,
right
Yep.
now, I just have Mahomes just a little bit higher because of the better talent he has around him
but Kansas City's always gonna score.
and the
So
better coach. No offense to um, McDermott,
McDermott is
but
I like McDermott, but he's
he's no Andy Reid. So,
yeah.
all
yeah,
right, so we can move on to number three. I know that we didn't all agree on number three either. I think you both said Kyler Murray, right?
yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
I had Kyler
yeah.
Murray there.
I had Kyler Murray
Yeah.
as well
You
as
guys
number
had
three.
Kyler Murray ranked third. I actually put Justin Herbert at three. I can put him down here. I actually had Herbert ranked third over Murray, only because I feel like what he showed us last year is like he is like a stud NFL quarterback, and I feel like he's going to be thrown up there in the ranks of the top five quarterbacks. Plus, he has good talent around him offensively. I know he's got a new head coach, and he doesn't really run as much as Kyler Murray does. So I guess fantasy point wise, I can see why Murray's third, but I feel like Herbert's just going to have an insane year next year. So I put him at three. But I know I see Murray at at three for a reason. Like I get why you guys have him there.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean, I like Justin Herbert a lot, and if you can get him in fantasy, you're gonna have a top five quarterback in the league right there on your fantasy team. But
Yeah,
it's just the
exactly.
Kyler Murray is he's just gonna be running the ball. Like he's gonna give you rushing yards too. He's gonna get
hmm
you touchdowns. So I like the running
yeah,
quarterbacks in fantasy better than like just the normal passers. And
Yeah,
if they're
no,
passers and runners, that's
even
a
better. Yeah,
best for fantasy points. Yeah.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I know that every year everyone says to get the running guys because they put up the most fantasy points, and it's true. Um, but I don't know. Sometimes I just feel like those guys that sit in the pocket, like Mahomes, whenever he was like the highest valued fantasy quarterback when he threw the 50 touchdowns. Obviously, that's not gonna happen every year, but he wasn't really running a whole bunch, and he put up insane numbers week in week out.
Yeah. I think for me is that Kyler Murray. Last year he came in second in points
Yeah.
behind Josh Allen, and that's with nagging injury towards the middle half of the season where he wasn't running as much.
hmm I mean,
So say
I
he has a healthy
yeah,
year,
Murray's top
even more
five,
points.
top four for sure.
Yeah.
Kyler Murray's gonna have another great year with a better offense. Another year with Cliff Kingsbury. Yeah, I mean
And it's a
Murray at
prove it
three.
year for Cliff Kingsbury, so I
And
think
just to say, if you
they'll
get
be doing
any of
good.
these top like six, I mean honestly top 10, you get any of the top 10 guys, you're feeling solid at where you are at quarterback. You get one of these upper echelon guys, you're gonna have to spend more draft capital on these guys. But
hmm
barring any injury, these guys are all gonna ball out. So I
These
agree.
are
Yeah,
guys you're starting every single game.
Yeah, no matter who they're
true.
playing. All right, so I guess we can move on to number four. And what are you guys feeling at the four spot?
Before I think we might have all had different
We did.
quarterbacks, you know?
We did.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like Lamar Jackson because he's just electric and he can run and everything. But I mean, his passing stuff
Yeah.
is something to be worried about for sure.
Adrian had Lamar. I had Dak Prescott if he's back from injury, fully healthy,
And I
back to
had
good.
Russell.
And you had Russell Wilson. Oops.
Yeah. I feel we're all good there. But I look, like you said, if Dak Prescott go back to how he was playing, yeah, chalk him up there. You know?
I just think he'll be healthy. He said that he's ahead of schedule. He said he's feeling good. He's throwing passes. I don't, he broke his foot, so that's not affecting his throwing motion or anything like that. And I mean, he runs. He's not like Lamar Jackson, Kyler Murray, or like even Russell Wilson, but he's mobile in the pocket. He can move around, or Josh Allen. But
He is.
their defense didn't get much better. They added, I like the Michael Parsons pick, but they didn't get a whole lot better. Not saying that Dallas is gonna be, he's not gonna go for 7,000 yards like he was on pace for last year or anything
hmm
crazy like that. But I would rank Dak at least top five for next season, fully
Yeah, I
healthy,
mean, we can
top
put
five.
Dak at four. Like, I like Dak Prescott too. Like last season, he was putting up like you just got to hope the Cowboys are getting blown out or they're in shootouts like they were last year because he was putting up like 60 fantasy points a game just from coming
hmm
back in games and then just from doing shootouts because he's one of the best quarterbacks out there that can get into a shootout for sure. And his
The
garbage
Yes.
time yards,
Yeah,
perfect.
yeah.
Yeah.
The only reason why I don't have Lamar rated, I'm not gonna have him in my top five, because I think at five I would put Russell Wilson here. Um, and I don't know how Adrian Izar feel about that behind Dak. I know Izar has him ahead of Dak, but
Yeah.
um, I mean, I'm gonna go ahead and put Russ. Adrian, how do you feel about that? You cool with Russ at five over Lamar?
I like Russ. I mean, you can't go wrong with Russ. He's
Russ can
one of
throw
the
the
best
ball. That's the
quarterbacks in the
thing.
NFL. He runs a little bit. I mean, he's most of his running is just to escape out of the pocket though, just to create more time because his offensive lines just over the years haven't been that great.
Yeah, but that's the
I
thing
hmm
though.
mean,
He creates more time
Russ,
to get the ball down the field, and he's got the best deep ball in the league.
yeah, he has a potential to get explosive plays. One thing that worries me about Russ is that some games he just doesn't do as great. I mean, I guess
Yeah,
that also with Lamar Jackson too. Like Lamar Jackson, like maybe I feel like the league might be catching up with him a little bit more. So I
that's
can
the
see
thing that
why you have
scares me
Russell Wilson
away
on
of
there.
Lamar Jackson, because he, I mean, I don't know. I still don't believe much in his passing ability. He's more rushing only upside, but he can give you a ton of fantasy points. But that's why I have him out of my top five because all of these guys right here command their offenses.
Yeah.
They are you gotta play them to pass too. That you don't just sit in the box like with Lamar. First of all he doesn't even have receivers, so I mean they got like no one to throw to, and all he can do is
Yeah,
run.
that's true.
So, and in fantasy, you want them to be able to be mobile and pass. And like I feel like most of these guys up here are all mobile, at least to some degree. Mahomes and Prescott to a lesser extent than the other guys, but
Yeah,
Yeah, I
no,
can see
I,
that.
I I agree.
The,
Lamar Jackson for me is a guy who he could rush easily for over 100 yards in a game, but at the same time he could also get you 100 yards passing,
yeah,
which isn't the
Yeah,
greatest.
yeah.
And I
that's
think
I
true.
feel
on a
like
more
Kyler Murray's
consistent
just a
level, these guys are
better
better.
Kyler Murray's just a better Lamar Jackson. I mean,
Yeah, he's not as good as a runner.
not as good of a runner, but he
He's
can.
very shifty. He's
Yeah,
very
super
shifty.
shifty,
Yes,
but
He's a
he's a
way better
great passer.
passer.
He's a
way
great
better
passer.
passer. Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah,
something that I'm looking at
very
now with
accurate.
all these top 5 guys that we have listed right
They all
here,
pass.
they all have like Tyreek Hill, Stephon Diggs, DeAndre Hopkins,
Yeah, Hopkins. I mean, they
Amari
got three
Cooper,
great receivers there.
DK Metcalf. Like these
Yeah,
guys all have number one
number
guy.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Um, but yeah,
and
I
I mean,
mean,
Aaron Rodgers would be up there too.
yeah.
He'd be like
Well,
around there
Aaron
too.
Rodgers
The
is
stuff that
probably
was
still going to
happening.
be in the top 10, but he's probably just fallen a little bit in the rankings because of what's going on with the whole Rodgers
You
thing.
just don't know where he's going.
And with Deshaun
mhm.
Watson, he'd be in the top 10, but not anymore. We have no idea.
Yeah, no, no.
No idea.
Yeah.
So if you want to move on to 6, who do you guys think would be good following this list at 6? I know that we have different opinions right now, but
Well, this was where I would put in your guy, Justin Herbert.
you think, all
I
right.
can agree with that. I think Justin Herbert's gonna have a
Yeah.
spectacular season this
No,
year.
I mean
Mm-hmm.
I'm fine with that. Like I had him at third because I just believe in him a lot. But
Mm-hmm.
if he falls to 6, he goes behind Murray, Prescott, and Wilson. You know, that's fine. Like I wouldn't be mad at Justin Herbert for that because those guys are all established like superstars.
Exactly. I think that's the big reason that these guys have been established, and for a couple of years, there's such a thing called this, sophomore slump. So hopefully that doesn't happen with him.
Yeah,
But and I don't think so. I remember coming out of the draft, I was very high on Herbert. I thought he was going to be the best quarterback out of the bunch, and so far he's proven.
Yeah, I mean,
And
I love
expect
yeah,
him to
Herbert.
continue.
yeah.
Yeah.
Herbert at 6, that's great. I mean, like I said, I had him rated a little higher. Everyone's rankings are going to be different. These are just like our consensus. Like, we can kind of come to an agreement on these top 10 guys. So.
Yeah.
But Herbert at 6, yeah, he's got the upside there. He's got huge upside this year. Like you said, sophomore slump. Hopefully it doesn't happen, but um, he's got
He
huge
could
upside.
potentially be the best fantasy quarterback.
Yeah.
I don't know
Where
if I'd put him over Josh Allen or Mahomes, but he could have he could be
I,
up there. That's why I had him at 3. I think he could
I
have a
believe
great season.
any one of these guys so far that we have up can be best quarterback
Okay.
at the end of the day when it comes to fantasy
Yeah,
wise.
yeah, fantasy wise, yeah, okay, I could see that.
Any
Any
one
of
of
these,
these quarterbacks, yeah.
I think anyone in the top 10 you could
Yeah.
see.
Uh,
I guess it
yeah.
depends on who we get down towards the end.
Hmm.
But at 6, Herbert. I mean, no complaints here. So, what are you guys thinking? How are you guys feeling at 7? I have someone already in mind. I don't know how you guys are feeling looking down the list.
On the list,
Yeah, I
I'm
mean,
debating between Lamar or Aaron Rodgers.
I
yeah, I
was
was
gonna say
thinking the same
Lamar.
thing.
I was gonna say Lamar only because of the rushing upside that he has.
Yeah,
Yeah, I would go with
I could
Lamar here
agree with
at
that.
7.
I can
Yeah,
agree
I
with
would
that.
definitely go with Lamar here at 7.
Only reason, like
'Cause-
Lamar's only reason why he's above Aaron Rodgers is the rushing upside. Like he can, like Isaiah was saying, give you 100 yards a game. So, I mean, he can also
Hmm.
pass for 100, which isn't ideal. But that 100 could be 2 passing touchdowns and then like 2 rushing
Yeah,
touchdowns. So,
yeah,
and the touchdown capital in Lamar is huge. He's super talented. Um, but the passing wise is why he's a little bit lower because he can't pass as well as these guys right here.
yeah, I
yeah,
mean, that's just how it, like, that's Lamar Jackson. Like, if they play like a poor team and not a good defense, they're going to steamroll him. He's going to get
Yeah,
40, 50 fantasy points. They're going to steamroll that team. But it just depends, like, on the schedule. He plays the Steelers twice. The Steelers have a history of shutting down Lamar Jackson,
yeah.
and I
yeah,
probably see them doing it again this
yeah.
season.
I feel like the more times a team sees Lamar Jackson, the better they have a handle on
I
it.
mean, here's hoping he
And
improved as a passer this offseason. So
yeah,
he's got a
and
lot of time.
hopefully too that rookie that they signed Rashad Bateman. Hopefully he could help him out.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think Rashawn Bateman could help him out. I don't think he's gonna break out or anything as a rookie,
No,
but
no,
he'll
no,
for sure
no.
help him out a little bit, hopefully.
Yeah,
Um, so I guess at number 8 we're just gonna go with Aaron Rodgers, right? Like have him right behind. Lamar.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah. I mean, with
for
what's going on in
sure.
Green Bay, we'd like to see him stay in Green Bay so he has Devontae Adams. If he ends up leaving Green Bay and goes to Denver, those
I
Denver
would like
guys,
to see him in Denver.
those Denver
Yeah,
guys are going to get higher on the draft boards, like Jerry Judy and Cortland
Jerry
Sutton.
Judy, Cortland
But
Sutton,
I mean,
Noah Fant.
no offense, but those guys aren't Devontae Adams. So
No, of course not.
yeah,
But it's
But
a
I
better
think
core than what he had.
it
yeah,
is a better core.
for
That's the
sure,
thing.
a better core.
And I think you kind of looked at like what happened in the NFC Championship game.
Yeah,
One of the final plays, he forced it to Devontae Adams because
yeah,
I don't believe he trusts anyone else.
yeah. I mean, there's
And I
that
think that
stat that
that's an issue.
there's that stat that Devontae had like 110 catches, and the next closest receiver had 33. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's tough. But for right now, we have Rodgers number 8. But obviously, like we said, honestly, I feel like I don't know if there's another quarterback that I would say besides these top 8 that I could see finishing number 1. Because there's still
Yeah,
good quarterbacks, but I think this top 8, Mahomes, Josh Allen, Kyler Murray, Dak Prescott, Russell Wilson, Justin Herbert, Lamar Jackson, Aaron Rodgers, any of these guys could finish as QB1 on the season
hmm
for sure.
The only other quarterback I would say is Deshaun Watson, but we just don't know
Oh
what's
yeah,
happening there.
yeah,
So
yeah. We have
yeah,
no
we have
idea.
no idea what's happening with Deshaun Watson. We don't even know if he's going to play ever again in the league or even this year. So, if let's
Yeah.
say Deshaun Watson was playing, where would you guys have him rated? Where would you slide him?
I put him ahead of Dak Prescott.
Yeah,
yeah, I had to have him
I'd
fourth.
have him right here.
Yeah.
I had my cursor right here. I'd have him right here.
hmm Okay.
So let's move on to ninth quarterback, our top 9 now. There's a few guys here on the board that I like. You guys know I'm a big Joe Burrow fan. Matthew Stafford in LA with Sean McVay. Matt Ryan with all that offensive talent. Daniel Jones. Uh,
I would say me personally, I'd probably go with Jalen Hurts,
really,
but that's just me
Jalen
personally, just
Hurts.
because of the running element and everything. But I don't know what you guys
I'm gonna
think.
put Jalen Hurts right here because I don't have Jalen Hurts in my top 10 at all. I don't know about you,
No.
Isaac.
No.
No,
No.
I would say Joe Burrow, but that's because I'm super high on him. Izar, do you have someone else?
uh, you know what? I don't like I don't like this. I'd probably have to go with Tom Brady.
Really?
I I'm not a huge Brady fan, but it's just the weapons he has.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean Tampa Bay is just Tampa Bay, but the
My
only thing
my
about
only
Tom Brady is
concern.
they
Go ahead,
start
Adrian.
so slow. No, I was just saying that the Buccaneers just start like really slow, like at least Tom Brady does usually in seasons. He
Yeah.
just starts really slow to start out the years, and he doesn't really
But
pick it up till around like December, around that
he
time.
gets to start off the year against a poor Cowboys
Yeah.
defense.
Poor Cowboys defense.
True.
That's true. I wouldn't have Brady only because the thing that I'm worried about is I know it's Tom Brady and might rip me for this, but he had a knee surgery apparently today that he described himself as pretty significant. I don't know if I would take that
Mhm.
risk because 44 years old, knee surgery in the off season, and quarterbacks don't slowly decline; they just fall off a cliff. They just they just hit their head straight down on the ground. They fall 50 stories, slam their face in. That's just what
Yeah,
happens.
yeah, I
And
agree.
I'm not
Thing
saying
is,
it's going to happen to Brady this year or next year. Who knows? But at 44 years old, he said significant knee surgery. I wouldn't take that fantasy risk, especially as your number one guy. Whenever there's guys like Joe Burrow, Matthew Stafford, I don't know. That's just me.
for me, it's Tom Brady. He started off the year last year, very slowly,
Very
and I
slow.
believe whole new team, getting trying to get on the same page with those guys as well.
Yeah,
Uh, and he still finished eighth in
yeah. He was eighth in I
quarterback.
think standard PPR.
Yeah, and
So
so to me, that's like now he has a whole year under his belt. You know, they didn't lose players. They still have one of the best offensive line.
yeah,
And
Yeah, I mean
even then,
agree with
they
it.
not only did they not lose any players, they're getting OJ Howard back,
yeah.
who I think is the best tight end on that team.
Yeah, I mean, right now he's definitely better than Gronk. Gronk just kind of saves himself for the playoffs. But
I
I
think
mean,
he's more of a clutch player.
I'm
Yeah.
cool, I guess, with putting Brady at 9. I don't personally like it. I'd rather see Joe Burrow and Matthew Stafford over him. But I see what you're talking about. They started slow and he still finished off the season strong. And Stafford, as a new year, as an under new head coach, we'll yet to see how
Yeah.
that works out. And I feel like he always misses a couple games with injury, unfortunately. And then
Mhm.
Joe Burrow, haven't seen a full season, so we'll go Brady
Mhm.
at 9. So our last quarterback at number 10. There's a few guys here I like, and then how do you guys feel rounding out quarterback 10 on the season? Points
I'd
per
go with
game.
Matthew Stafford.
That's what I was gonna say. Izar.
Yeah. I like Matthew Stafford. I've always thought he was such a good quarterback. It's just
Yeah,
he was on the Lions.
yeah.
I think
Stafford.
he's going to show his potential.
Yeah, Stafford's got a good coach. He's in a winning organization. He's got a really good defense. He's got good skill positions around him. They're not the best players, but they're playmakers. Robert Woods,
Mhm.
Cooper Cup.
Robert Cooper Cup. Yep.
Yeah, Tyler Higbee. Um,
Mhm.
I
You
think
got Cam Akers coming out of the
Cam
backfield.
Akers, yeah, I think Stafford's gonna have a solid year. I put him, I mean, number 10. I mean, I'm fine with that. I don't think he'll finish as QB1 on the season or Brady. That's why we said like these top 8 guys, any of these guys could finish QB1. These are the big name players. And then Brady
Mhm.
and Stafford, I wouldn't be surprised if they finish. They can get up to as high as like fourth.
Yeah. I mean, they can get
Yeah.
up as high as fourth, but they could also be as low as
They could be
around
as low as like
13,
13,
14.
14. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So, you guys want to do two sleepers? Um, we
Yeah.
can
Yeah.
we can do two quarterback sleepers that you can pick up in the later rounds. Uh,
I mean, yeah. I
who?
mean, we could all give our 2 cents
Yeah,
on who
yeah.
the two,
Um,
so that way, yeah.
who? If you had to pick two, Izar, who are you going with? Two sleepers you can get in the
For
late rounds.
me, I'm going with number one, Matt Ryan.
Okay, yeah. Um, I
I
like that sleeper
he's just a
pick.
solid.
A lot of offensive.
Mm-hmm.
Let me put him right here. A lot of
Yeah.
offensive
Yeah.
talent surrounding him. He's been an MVP in the
Yeah.
league. I mean,
And I think their
I
defense is very
I was
poor,
gonna I was gonna
so
say Matt
they're gonna
Ryan
be
too.
throwing.
Honestly, I was gonna go with Matt Ryan as a sleeper. If you're able to
Yeah.
draft him, he's gonna be a quarterback that's gonna be available late. He's not gonna be one of these top guys. I mean, cutting off at Rodgers, these top 8
Mm-hmm.
guys, and then if we hear more news about Deshaun Watson and he's cleared, good to go, everything's done. Those top 9 with Deshaun Watson, they're gonna go anywhere between third to fifth round,
Yeah.
honestly.
Yeah, for sure.
So
Mm-hmm.
Matt Ryan will be a guy you can see available in the 10th round. He could have a.
Yeah.
I think he's a great sleeper pick.
I
All
like
right.
Matt
Then
Ryan.
my
So
second one would be, and I know a lot of people won't like this, but it's gonna have to be Daniel Jones.
Yeah, no, I don't agree with that one.
I just don't like Daniel Jones at all.
Um,
I understand why. It's just for me.
he just
Uh,
seems like another Eli to me. He's not like dynamic. I don't feel like he can make very many plays. This is his last year. We'll see how he does, but I'm not very high on Daniel Jones. Um,
Understood. Understood.
yeah,
He needs to fix the turnover problems before anything. Before I give him any like even bat an eye at him, he just needs to fix that
Yeah.
fumbling issue.
yeah.
And he throws a decent amount of picks, and I'm just not really high on Daniel Jones.
Yeah. Fair enough.
If you had to pick two, Adrian, who are you going? I would have picked Matt Ryan, so he's gonna stay there for me. I'm only gonna have one guy, but what about you, Adrian?
Well, I'm gonna have let me
Gonna
think
go
a
with
little
this
bit.
guy,
I
Jalen
think I'd
Hurts right
probably
there.
go with Jalen Hurts because I mean I
Yep.
had him up there, but I just like the running quarterbacks, and I think even though if Philadelphia is not going to have that great of a year this year, I still think he's going to do good. Like he's still going to get his rushing yards. He's going to have a bunch of. He's going to have his rushing touchdowns. He'll get in the end zone and their red zone situations and stuff too.
Yeah,
And I
I
just
mean,
like those types of quarterbacks that are dual threats, which is what he is. So that's why I have him on there.
do you have another sleeper you like, or is it him and Matt Ryan?
My other sleeper, I'm. I'd probably go. Just keep your eye on him. I might go with Carson Wentz.
Okay, yeah, I like that
Yep.
one.
Keep your eye on Carson Wentz this year. I know a lot of people didn't really like him last year he had a terrible season, but I really think that him reuniting with Frank Reich, who was his offensive coordinator when he had the MVP season in 2017, is going to ignite something in him, and he
Yeah,
might. I'm not saying he's going to go back to that form necessarily, but I still like even like Carson Wentz just being like a decent, good quarterback, or just going back to what his talent is, he had a bunch of like 2, 3 really good fantasy seasons.
Yeah.
I think he can do that
I
again
I like
for
the two
sure.
sleepers. I think these guys can go late. Any of these four guys will go late. So my one was Matt Ryan, and then my other one, I'm gonna go on a limb here, and I'm gonna say Sam Darnold. I was high on
Hey,
him talent wise. I think Sam Darnold could be a good fantasy quarterback. He's got a good offense. He's got good talent around him. DJ Moore, Robbie Anderson. They drafted that kid out of LSU. I forget his name. They also got Chuba Hubbard and Christian McCaffrey in the backfield. So I think he's a guy that might even go undrafted.
quick question though. Quick
Yeah,
question.
yeah.
Did you hear about the report of what Teddy Bridgewater said about
I
the
saw what Teddy
Carolina
said.
Panthers?
I saw what Teddy said.
And
I saw what Teddy said.
does that not
No, that
kind
doesn't
of
change my opinion at all. I think Teddy. I don't know. I just thought
thing
it.
is Teddy's not that type of guy
I
to
know, but I don't know. I didn't really change. It isn't sway. I think Sam Darnold. He's a guy. He's a sleeper. I got. Um, just I mean, undrafted. I mean, I think he could have a top 15 quarterback season. So I'm not putting him number
I
one.
love Sam Darnold. I'm a big Sam Darnold fan. It's just
You think that
hearing
that
those
Panthers?
reports
Yeah,
give me pause. Yes.
might have changed it. Yeah, but I mean, I guess if you guys don't have anything, you guys have anything else you want to say?
I mean,
No, I'm good.
All right,
I don't really
so
like Sam Darnold, but that's just me.
all
But
right. Well, I'm just saying sleeper. Come on, I'm saying sleeper.
yeah, I
Don't
guess
go out and
he
draft him in the
could be
fifth
a
round or
sleeper, but
anything, but he could be
get
a
him late
sleeper.
rounds. Don't get him early.
All right,
But
so if there's nothing else, that's just our top 10 quarterbacks for the 2021 fantasy football season here at BFF Fantasy Football, with a couple sleepers that we threw in that you could look to draft anywhere between the 10th and 15th round, or pick them up off the waiver wire if they go undrafted. Obviously, if you draft one of these top 8 guys, don't worry about these guys. We're just
yeah,
saying if you hold off for a quarterback and all the guys you like are gone, it wouldn't hurt to take a look at these guys. So.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, that's it from us here at BFF Fantasy Football. Be sure to like and subscribe. Follow us on TikTok. It's fantasy BFF underscore, and then Twitter. Same thing. We'll have it linked in the bio.
yeah. See you guys next video.